Good morning. Welcome everybody to Wellbeing Wednesday. It is Wednesday, the 6th of December. We're into December. We are ready to move this morning. I'm going to start today's session with a bit of exercise. We all know how good that is for us, and June will be elaborating more once I've finished. So don't forget, if you don't normally exercise, take things very, very easily, slowly, listen to your body, just do what you feel like doing and what you can do. It's only going to be about 10 minutes. So if you want to just chill and watch and then wait for the talking part, that's fine too. When we're ready, let's just stand. I always think it's good to put a bit of music on in the background if you can as well. The way we're going to work this morning, we're going to do 3 exercises per set. There are there's 5 sets. Each exercise is going to be 20 seconds with an 8-second rest. Now what we're going to do, the first exercise will be the low impact version, nice and steady, nice and slow. You can repeat that 3 times. That's fine. You can do the same thing. However, I'm going to give you a different option for the second one and the third. So just do what you feel like doing. We're going to start with a little warm up first. As always, let's just give our hands and feet a shake. Because for some of us, we might just got out of bed. Don't forget, if you're in a chair, you can just do this sitting. It's no problem at all. And if you're a bit wobbly with your balance, then don't lift the foot, just tap the toes. When we're ready, just relax the hands and arms and just step side to side. You just feel your arms doing their own thing. Keep it nice and steady. And then when you're ready, you're going to take one foot behind the other. Again, you can just stay side to side. If you can do this, just open up the hips and then allow the arms just to swing across the body. Regular Wellbeing Wednesday viewers will know this as June's cross crawl. Anything across the body is fantastic. So let's do one more, and then we're going to take the foot across the other way. So we're going in front of the body this time. Can you feel that? A nice twist across the abdomen. We're going to do this for 6 more. And then we're going to just reach across the body. You might want to start low here, so just reaching towards the floor. Opposite direction to the foot that's lifting. So you're just lifting at the heel, not lifting completely off the floor. And then if you want, just take the arms a little bit higher across the body. And then when you're ready, if you want to, reach high. 6 more. Well done. This time, we're just going to lift the knees. So if you want, it could be a toe tap. You can lift the knees a little bit higher, or really get them above the waist. Listen to your body. Allow the arms to move. And then if you can, you take the arms a little bit higher, so they're going to go up and over the head. This will raise the heart rate. So if it's too much for you, just keep it low. 6 more. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back to a stop. And this time, we're just going to lift the heels behind us. So this might be where you're at. If you need to hold on to anything anytime, that's fine. If you can, you're going to try and lift the foot to hit the bottom. At the same time, just turn your hands so the palms are going backwards and then just slightly push behind. And when you're ready, just come to a slow stop. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart, and then just going to stick your bottom back. So don't worry too much about getting low. I'm getting hot already. Anyone else? And push the bum behind you. Your feet follow your knees follow the direction of your toes. Keep your chest up, looking ahead. When we're ready, if you can, just swing the arms down and come up and stretch. So swing down and up. Just keep it nice and steady and balanced. If this is too much, just stay with a small squat. We're just going to do 5 more. Take the arms wider if you can. 2 more. Excellent, well done. Just bring the feet to a toe tap. And we're going to start off first exercise, which is just going to be the low impact version. So we're going to walk fast. So when you're ready, just lift the knees and walk. If you're using your arms as well, it will bring the heart rate up. So just relax the arms at any time you need to. We've only got 5 seconds. 3, 2, relax. In your relaxed period, don't stop completely. So even if you stand still, just squeeze your fingers and toes. This time, let's bring it to a jog if you can. So it's just a little bit faster than a walk. Stay with a walk if you want to. Otherwise, we're starting to get the heart rate up and we're starting to sweat. Well done. 3, 2, and relax. Look how quickly that goes. This time, if you want, we're going to take it to a really fast sprint. 3, 2, let's go. This is too much. Take it back to the walk. These are very quick intervals. Nearly there. 3 seconds. And relax, well done. This next round, we've got some high knees. So what we did in the warm-up, you can keep it low, make it high, and then we're going to increase it if you want to. When we're ready, let's go. So high knees, we're starting low impact, just lifting the feet off the floor. And if you're in a chair, just lift the knees off the floor. Really great for the hip flexors. When we're ready, 3, 2, 1, and relax. This time, if you want to, you can add a hop. So we've got high knees, add in hop, let's go. Well done. As the time goes on, you'll hear me breathless. Well, I'm working hard. Nearly there. 3, 2, 1, relax. Bring it back down. This time, if you want to, we've got double time knees. That's the hardest yet. 3, 2, let's go. So just double time knees. Back to here, or low impact. Otherwise, keep them up if you can. As high as you can. We're nearly there. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Well done. That's your second set done already. This time round, we've got some squats. So you can take the feet wide this time. Your toes are pointing slightly outwards. When you dip down, your knees follow the direction of the toes. Careful they don't come in. So your first set, arms up and down. If you want, just stay with a squat. When we're ready, let's go up and down. So go as low as you feel comfortable. It's always about you and nobody else. We've only got 3 seconds. Well done. Relax. This time, if you want to, you can jump it in and out. 3, 2, let's go. So your feet come together, and then you jump into a squat. Stay here if you want to. If you're sitting down, just do the arms. 3, 2, and relax. Our last set in this round, we've got jumping jacks. 3, 2, let's go. Your arms can go all the way up or just out to the side. Keep it low if you want. Once I lose the arms, I can't get them back. 3 seconds. Well done. Relax. Have a rest. This round, you remember what we did in the warm-up? We're going to start with butt kicks. Okay, I'm aware I haven't given you much of a rest. Let's have 5 seconds. 3, 2, let's go. So, I knew you went ahead of myself. So just push back as fast or as slow as you want, even if you're just standing and lifting the heels, that's fine. Again, you can do this sitting down. 3, 2, 1, and relax. If you want, pick up the pace this time. Let's go. This time you're running, but you're still trying to get your bottom, if you can. Three, 2, 1, and relax. If you can, do the same thing, but the legs are a little bit wider. 3, 2, so you're running, but your legs are wider. Just challenges the legs, using them in a different way, because we don't normally run around like this. Want to make it harder, lift the arms, keep it slow and low if you want to. 3, 2, 1, relax, well done. You'll be pleased to know there's only one more round. We're going to start with switch feet. So you're literally putting one foot in front of the other, or you can tap as a low impact version. Hard to do switch feet, the low impact. When you're ready, let's go. So just switching the feet or tapping. Three, 2, 1, relax. Okay, we're just going to step back with a bent knee. So it's a lunge, step, bend, step, bend. Start when you're ready. If you need to hold on for balance, that's fine. Just make sure the front knee going in the same direction as the toes. Hopefully that's forwards. Keep the chest up. Nearly there, 3 seconds. Well done. This next one, if you want to combine the two with switch feet and then lunge, now's the time. So if you want 4 and then 3. Don't forget, you can just stay with the stepping back or with the switch feet. Don't forget, it's 3 different impacts. 3, 2, and relax. Well done. We are finished, but we're cooling down. Great job. So just keep moving the feet. Even if you can't walk about, just squeeze the hands and toes. We don't want the blood to pull and us to fall over. Keep the oxygen going around the body, keeping us alert. So if you've just done this and you feel you want more, then just repeat the process. And you can do it as many times as you feel, probably 2 or 3 times maximum. Okay, when you're ready, you're just going to keep the feet on the floor and just sway. Anyone else breathless like me? Just me. Okay, well done. Just take the arms wide. Forget the sway. And then turn the palms back. Well done. You can feel your heart rate just slowly coming back to normal. Just lower the arms, take the shoulders back a couple of times. Let's do 3. And then the other way. Well done. You just give the legs a shake. Shake all that work you've just done. And then we're going to bring the feet together, quite narrow, not locked together, but narrow. And then if you can, you get the bottom in the air. And then lean back on the heels to get stretch of the hamstrings. Just going to hold that there for a couple of seconds. And then in this position, you're just going to bring the toes up of one foot. The stretch changes from the hamstrings down to the calf muscles. Try and keep a flat back in this position, not roll shoulders. If you want an extra stretch, you can push the elbows back and the chest forward. Change feet when you're ready, so the other toes come up. Just push forward. Just going to hold that for 3 seconds. Well done. Just bend the knees, lower the head and come up slowly. And when you're ready, we're just going to give ourselves a couple of big circles. We haven't done that much that we have to do loads of stretching, but it's just a chance for the body to cool down and bring the heart rate back. Well done. Fantastic job, everyone. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining me. Well done. Thank you. I think if everyone's heart rate's back to normal, we've got the beautiful June Tranmer this morning. Good morning, June. Welcome.
Good morning. Well, yeah, I've been feeling a wee bit breathless lately, and there are various reasons for this, including stress. And of course, we all know that exercise is good for releasing stress, and certainly, happy things like preparing for Christmas can be stressful too, and all sorts of things. Right now, it's grief awareness time. I don't know whether it's a week or whether it's today. I mean, I feel like it's grief awareness like quite a lot. We've been through fear these last 3 years, and now we're moving into grief. And so there's quite a lot to be said about that. And I think we're going to have a little chat about that. If we look at the 5 elements, I just wanted to bring that in here. You may or may not know that normally the red one is on the top, traditionally in Chinese medicine, but recently I've just rotated it round so that water is on the top. This isn't because we're in a water year, although we're in water rabbit, and we're moving in February to a wooden dragon, which is the green. So the cycle moves this way, clockwise throughout the years, and each element of the 5 elements has got 12 animals in it as part of the Chinese horoscope, the Oriental horoscope, because I believe Korea follows the same thing, and other Oriental countries might do too. However, grief is over here, fear is here, anger is here, joy is here, and sympathy and empathy is here. So when we're done with the fear, I mean, you're never finished. You can move in and out of emotions anytime, daily. Hopefully you don't get stuck in any one for too long, because that's when we can make ourselves ill. But we're kind of going backwards around the circle, because this is white, actually. Now it doesn't look very white, but it is. And this is the metal element, and it's to do with grief. And we're out of balance whenever we don't feel feelings, as well as when we overfeel. So, we need to be aware, I guess, of acknowledging our feelings, and maybe trying to just move through with them without trying to bury them or put them away. But my curiosity is such that I wonder if we're going to get into empathy properly after this grief period, because the connection between us all is so strong right now, and we can send healing to people across the world. And people like Heather Ensworth, I'll put the link to her healing meditation in here, because she really clearly talks about sending love and light around the world. And I know that it's a hard thing to do if you're in the middle of worry and anxiety and, your own things. So she's talking about making sure you ground yourself so that you're not sending all that extra stuff alongside your love and light, because stress is contagious, as we said last week. We can actually spread our feelings. We know about that. And on that note, I think we're going to have a little bit of a chat about this. I'd like to bring Helen in on her thoughts about grief and feelings and stuff.
Um, well, in to be fair, grief is something. I don't think it's something that we're just feeling. I know that you said we're sort of heading from fear into grief, but just when the drop-ins started, the Zoom drop-ins, grief was loss was massive. 2020, people experienced extreme loss of families, friends, ideologies. So grief isn't always associated. I think one of the things that I'd like to just drop in is grief isn't always associated with someone's death. People have an idea that you grieve when someone dies, whereas that's not necessarily the case. Grief is something that is experienced with any form of loss. And in 2020, that absolutely started to happen. People, especially this time of year, people were denied access to families at Christmas. So they were losing traditions, there was a lot of cultural collective loss and individual loss. And one of the things within the drop-ins and the people that I was working with was to sort of acknowledge the loss. It's not always death, whereas now there is a lot of death, in all fairness, died suddenly. And so grieving comes into that. But to honour that and to acknowledge that any form of loss, I used to work in an environment where people lost limbs and lost life, lost senses, and the loss of your dreams and the way that you perceived your life to be. So for me, that was definitely since 2020 loss, and people encouraging people to allow themselves to grieve, and the cultural nuances within grief as well.
Yeah, totally agree with you. You can have all these feelings simultaneously. I mean, and we still can find the joy in life alongside all of
I
these
think,
other so-called negative feelings, because truly there is no negative emotion. They're just emotions.
yes.
We only want the ones that make us feel good, but we can't. It's like yin and yang. We have to have the light and the dark, right? So,
So
it's a matter of moving through them, acknowledging them, and having, like you say, having people there who can listen. The Anamkara drop-in is so valuable for people. And yeah, this neuroscientist I was listening to this morning, he was talking about how stress is actually physiologically contagious. It's not just, energetically, which is where I come from. They've measured it off people's skin. So that is absolutely fascinating. But she was talking about circle of trust. You need people around you who you feel safe with to express your
that's
feelings.
one of the things that got lost when this began, was friendships, long-term friendships were just torn apart. So people were feeling, and it added to the sense of isolation. So if possibly found support with, were no longer there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, yeah. And I think the other thing is that grief has become, I mean, it's been added into the diagnostic statistical manual now, but grief has become something to like fear almost, we're not to grieve. Whereas culturally, historically, most cultures, most indigenous cultures have wailers, and they have a whole process around grief. And it's the individual is supported by the collective. And we now live in this two mom, dad, 2.2 children, or whatever it is, kind of world where you're denied your extended family, your extended culture, and even down to funerals, when, you know, stopping people going to funerals, that's halting people's grief. And it's halting a cultural collective grief that people need to. When I was thinking about grief, I looked at its mental anguish, which just even the sound just sounds painful, and it is, but it's not something to be avoided. Obviously, if it becomes overwhelming and it starts to inhibit your life in a way, and you are stuck, then absolutely, I think support is vital. And finding a way through that, but allowing yourself, seeing grief as part of the life-death process, as much as we celebrate life, perhaps celebrating death. And most cultures used to celebrate death, the Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Day of the Dead. There's a celebration of those that we've lost, and we're no longer in that within the what we call the West. The first world doesn't seem to want to do that, which means that our bodies then hold the score, which we all know the body then holds. So if we're not allowing ourselves to grieve, and grief is very individual, it's not, you know, yes, there are cultural norms, but we will each experience our grief in our own way. Grief that was once put about, and that, you know, you might find yourself in there, a bit like your wheel, you know, it's intermittent. You sort of go through that denial, acceptance, denial, anger, bargaining, what's the other one? Acceptance is the last one, but you can kind of go round, you know, certainly find yourself in different places, but it's about honoring what's happening for you. We all grieve very differently. Some people it's tears, some people it's anger, you know. So, well,
anniversaries are classic, aren't they? Things crop up again at an anniversary. Sorry.
And obviously grieve. And I know.
Shall I, at this point, should I bring up my whirlpool of grief
really
picture?
Important, those anniversaries, because they allow that shedding again. And the way that I perceive grief is it's an expression.
Lost her.
Is it coming?
It's
good, but not. Kerry, you're right.
We've lost you, and now I've lost the thing I wanted to share.
Oh, right. Did I get lost? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we lost you briefly. I was just trying to bring up my
I was basically whirlpool of grief.
Yeah, I have a picture. But then I went on to read something else like I do. So I just lost it temporarily. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think grief is a very individual thing as well, and it looks different for everyone. And the anniversaries of, you were on about the anniversaries, and they can help us to continue to peel back the layers, not just honoring the person, but also peeling back the layers on.
I remember when I first came across this, I found it absolutely fascinating, because you do, if it's a sudden thing, you do feel that shock. Like you've fallen off a cliff in a way.
People are, you know, people have been in illness, and people know that they're about to die. It can be it's still a shock to those around when that person actually does stop being here. I don't actually believe in death anymore. It's just in a sense of it's the end of something. It's just a part of a cycle, in all fairness. But I think where your cultural really play a part, being raised to perceive death and grief, they can be really comforting as well.
Yeah, there are quite a few authors who have written about grief and mainly to do with bereavement. I mean, this is one lady, what's her name? What's her name? I'll just find it. There's Christy West, who is from New Zealand, who had a website. It seems to have vanished now, although she's still sending emails. So I have got her contact details. If anybody wants them, I can put those in the chat, because she's a really excellent grief counselor. And then there's a Scottish lady who, well, is she Scottish even? She lives in Scotland, and she's written a book about her grief that is absolutely fascinating. And this
Maureen's actually writing a book on grief, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that right? Right.
That she was writing.
She's writing another book. Yeah.
I think the important thing is for people to find what works for them. And, you know, to honor yourself. If you can't if your grief is too much, then you do what is necessary to help you navigate it. But I think, you know, for me, it's about embracing the life that was, or what it was that is now no longer, recreating dreams and honoring that, and allowing your body to release its anguish, because it would be held in the body, allowing your mind, allowing your emotions, and allowing the love that you actually shared, if it's a personal, you know, if it's a personal loss with someone, allowing that to comfort you, and being whoever you wish to be in any given moment with it. Obviously, there's loads of different modalities that you can find supporting. Homeopathy works, touch for health would work, comfort, talking therapies, creative arts therapies. There's a plethora of ways that
we can put some links into the chat, can't we?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, people will find their own, obviously, but we have quite a few things. Losing a child is obviously heart-wrenching, and my friend Marjorie, her daughter was murdered in Australia, and Marjorie's son Richard, who is also my friend, wrote a book called Chasing Rainbows, and that's really a lovely tribute to his sister. The other lady I put up in the chat is Kelly, and she's got Chasing Dragonflies. It's very interesting. She lost her daughter at age 12. And there's a charity in York, Millie Fox. I think it is. No, I don't know, Millie something. Millie.
I went to see a band recently, and one of their songs is called Dance While You Can, because we're going to die anyway. And it's actually inspired by the loss of their son, which that was the message, you know, because life's so fragile. And I think one of the things that possibly could help is more conversations around death, and, you know, sort of letting people know what it is that you want, especially like, there's not much, as I've mentioned culture a lot, but there's not much culture in the UK or Ireland anymore around, you know, where you're going and what you're doing and what you want at your funeral, etc. But I think having those conversations, they are uncomfortable. I know my own children don't want to have them with me because they don't want to think about me not being here, and yet trying to normalize. And I think when I came to Ireland, I was really challenged by their culture because of the wake and but they've kind of tried to knock it on the head a little bit with the last 3 years, but having the body in the house, and the children playing around it, death is such a part of life. And I was told I might miss a wedding, but I'd never miss a funeral, because funerals were celebrations of life, and people are buried within 3 days. And I think that's something else. In the UK, my friend had to wait 3 months before she was able to bury her daughter. That is too long for people to be able to start there, because the funeral is a real marked place. It's a line in the sand where the grieving can begin. And if you haven't buried them yet, or cremated them, or whatever your particular way of doing it is. It's just such a stress upon you. And the way that it is in the UK, people are waiting far too long before they can have their funerals, and that plays a part upon how people navigate their grief, and it's not good. But here they would have the body in the house, the children would be playing around. It was the first time I actually looked and thought, oh, there really is something else. The body is really just the temple. The house is the essence of whatever that person is, because it is a body. And then going to the whole community came out, whereas, you know, everybody, even if you never met the person that died, but you knew a family member and you were part of that community,
Yeah.
would go to the funeral.
Well, yeah, I remember
that was
Sinead
something
O'Connor's
that
funeral,
I
and people lined the
initially
street, you
found
know,
quite
for her.
difficult, but
Yeah.
really the comfort, the shared
Yeah.
comfort
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
And then there's and then after a month, the community comes out. They always have, like, whereas in the UK, be dressed in black, you know, don't be my experiences. Quite strange. And then I went to a funeral that was really kind of structured, and no one was to cry. The woman had said that no one was to cry, and I was like, this is too prescriptive. So in your arranging of your funerals, and encouraging people to honour you and grieve for you, and not saying that people have to grieve, but grieving is part of life. And I think that normalising that again, it's not nice when you lose someone that you love. It's not nice when you lose a dream. These things are not nice. But um, to know that they are part of the life, death, up, down cycle. You couldn't hear me, could
Yes,
you? I don't know who can hear me.
that went a bit wibbly as well. But I was just reminded as you were speaking about a funeral I went to recently where one family member is from the Philippines, and she was in the awful position of when her mother died, she couldn't go back. So she had to participate in Zoom events, but they don't just have a funeral, they have 2 weeks of celebrating that person's life in different ways. They have feasting, and they have, I don't know the whole system because the person who told me doesn't know. She only knows secondhand. It's her sister-in-law. And, you know, the recent funeral just brought it all back, and she just crumbled because the grief for her mom had not been fully expressed. It was still sitting there in her heart. And so then when her mother-in-law died, it just brought it all back. And I think that is the thing. If we, like you say, the body holds the score. We do get clear physical symptoms from grief. And you know, we feel like we've been socked in the stomach, our heart constricts, our bowels clench, all sorts of stuff happens. So we need to just listen even more carefully to our bodies than we maybe are accustomed to doing.
Would anyone else like to say anything? Sorry, June. I'm just wondering if anyone else would like to share their story or speak or
Yeah. You don't have to put your picture up. You can talk with the video off if you want.
I'm aware of time getting on now. I'm wondering if we should draw today to a close if we've got no more.
Yes. Oh, another useful thing for stress and releasing things from the body is the vagus nerve exercises. I've been doing that again, and I find it really helpful. So shall I mention that in there? Because there's a book by Stephen somebody. And there's lots of videos on YouTube, actually, to be honest.
quite a quick thing, isn't it? The vagus nerve exercises, they're not, some of them are just literally 2 minutes.
They're really short. I mean, you can do a selection of them. I mean, I know some people who can't do the ones where you're kneeling on the floor because of shoulder impingement or whatever, but you can lean into the wall like this and do the looking over your shoulder for 20 counts. And then the other ones are head tilted to the side, obviously not forcing it, head tilted to the side, looking down, count to 20 or 30 until you yawn, and then you release, and then looking up, and then you release, and then you do the other side. It's amazing. It just, if you're starting to get tension around your neck, it just, and that can be a contributory factor to so many things. I mean, I always know when I'm going to get a cold because my neck feels tight and my ankles. It's so weird. If my ankles start feeling really cold, I know I'm going to catch a cold. If I catch a cold, I'm going to feel a chill. Yeah, I get a chill in my ankles and my body goes, oh, okay, let's just, no, I can't. I haven't got time.
I think Jonathan Lawrence, he did a vagus nerve video for us way back.
Yes.
Oh, really? Jonathan Lawrence.
One of the things I'd like to say in terms of grief, just being with somebody who is grieving without the need for speaking, just allowing someone to be there. I once had a neighbour who lost his wife of 60 years. I've only been on the planet that long, so I can't even begin to imagine. And no one spoke to him. Nobody knew. People tend to think that they're going to say the wrong thing, and so people avoid people that are grieving, that have had loss. They cross the road. They turn away. Because they don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. Offer, would you like a cup of tea? And just sit in silence with somebody. Just allow somebody to be there. Ask them how they are. You're not going to combust. They're not going to combust. They might cry. They might express emotion. They might express things. All you have to do is be there and allow that. There's nothing to fear when you know, don't this whole, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say, I might set them off. You can't set someone off. You can allow space for them. So just on that, be with people. Don't fear it. It's one that you love, without everyone turning away from you. And we do tend to turn away from people in grief. It's something that we don't like to be faced with. So get over yourself and get in there and give them a cup of tea and a bit of a hug if you need to, and show them some love.
I remember someone wise saying to me once that nothing anyone could say could make them feel any worse. Is that right, Anne?
Yeah.
But they might just make it better.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to speak?
No.
Just to say yes.
But we do tend to run from people, and it's not great for them, because they feel like they've already lost the one that they love. And there's a good chance that they feel that they're losing everyone around. And I know that when women lose their husbands, their female friends that are still married can stop inviting them
Yeah.
because they have this idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and we haven't touched on losing a baby.
That, you know, all of a sudden a female is doing that. Is that I know from my husband, the thought of losing a child is it's just the wrong way round, isn't it? And there's a lot of people, children, miscarriage as well. Don't honour miscarriage as a loss enough either.
Yeah, we might have people who can talk about that next week. I'm hoping that a couple of people are going to join us next week, but we probably will have a different theme. But yeah, I mean, there are so many people, more than we think, having miscarriages and losing babies, and it needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah, I think that's a whole new session, I think, just on that, with the wonderful experienced people that we have. So we can hopefully have them join us soon.
Yeah.
So I think we need to draw today to a close. And thank you, ladies, for being here and for your wise words as always. Thank you on behalf of the People's Health Alliance for joining us today. You can find all our recordings on YouTube and Rumble. Please give us your feedback, and if you'd like to hear us talk about anything else, or if you'd like to talk about anything, please let us know. Have a wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday, and please join us soon. Take care. Bye-bye.